course, is an intellectual pastime. Women who have no intellect should no more be allowed to play billiards.
Than to get the vote or join this club.
Agreed. I was about to say than to play auction bridge.
I take it you've been visiting Lady Bastable.
Oh, I've avoided that for years now. There's no pleasure in beating her at bridge and certainly no profit. As a player, she's lamentable. As a payer, non-existent.
She owes me a good bit.
Fenella Bastable loves owing with a great, strong love. To lose at cards and not to pay has a glamour for her that she simply cannot resist. In fact, I can only remember one occasion when she paid up without a murmur.
Hmm?
And that, of course, was the work of Clovis Sangrail.
Helena?
More tea?
No, thank you. Since I'm leaving this morning...
Since you and your nephew Clovis are leaving this morning.
I thought it would be rather nice if Clovis stayed on here with you.
Clovis? Stay here with me?
Not permanently.
You are taking him up north to visit the McGregors.
I particularly don't want to.
Why not?
He would teach the McGregor boys poker patience.
And what will he do here?
He could hardly teach you poker patience in the time. He would only be here 6 days.
It would seem considerably longer. The last time he was here for a week...
But that was 2 years ago. He was much younger then. 2 years younger.
He hasn't improved. What's the use of getting older if you only learn new ways of misbehaving? No, thanks. I'd rather not.
Helena, if you'll have Clovis here, I'll cancel our bridge account.
What bridge account?
49 shillings. 50 if you prefer it in round figures.
Naturally, I don't prefer it, as I am the one who owes it.
It can't matter, can it, since it's been cancelled?
The boys' train fare to the north will cost you more than 49 shillings. You'll make a clear profit.
And so will you.
No. Clovis is an expensive guest.
But the satisfaction of not having to pay a card debt, particularly a debt to me. I settled then.
Good morning, Lady Bastable. Aunt?
Good morning, Clovis. Lady Bastable has some news for you.
Oh, another revolution. Which country is it now?
She has very kindly asked you to stay on here while I go to the McGregors.
Really? How nice. But wouldn't it be a frightful imposition?
Not at all. Lady Bastable will love having you.
Provided you behave yourself.
Oh, I shall. But I know Lady Bastable's an extremely busy person. Preparing for the end of the world, isn't it?
The end of the world as we know it.
Yes, I fancied you were getting ready for something of the sort.
I have been ready for years. We are on the brink of a social upheaval of titanic proportions.
Of course, that was it.
The masses will rise up, and everybody will be killed.
Everybody? By whom?
By everybody else.
Ah, yes, of course.
We, our class, will naturally take precedence. We should be the first to go. It's only a matter of time.
Well, how long do you give us? Another year or two? 1913, 1914?
It'll come sooner than we think.
Aunt, don't you think it might be safer for me up north at the
No,
McGregors?
Clovis, you will stay here.
None of us will escape wherever he may be.
But I promised faithfully to teach the McGregor boys how to play poker patience.
They're far too young for games of that sort.
Well, if Lady Bastable's right, they're not going to get much older.
It will come sooner than we think.
You see.
It's all settled, Clovis, and I'm relying upon you to behave yourself while you're here.
Yes, Aunt.
However unnatural it may seem.
Have you seen the morning papers, Lady Bastable?
Why?
Well, only that they're full of the most alarming news. Lithuanian peasants in revolt, aristocracy slaughtered in a wave of terror.
Let me see.
French workers on strike.
Let me see.
Nearer home every moment.
Aha! Aha!
Aha, indeed.
Good gracious me, it's on its way. And sooner than anybody thinks.
Help, help, everybody, come quickly. Oh, Lady Bastable, my God, it's terrible. Come as you are, not a moment to be lost. Everybody, quick, one this way. It'll be very too late.
What's happened?
Lady Bastable,
May I ask the meaning of this uproar, Clovis?
You were right, it's happened. The mob is upon us.
What mob?
It's a great social upheaval. Help, help, save us, we're trapped. Help, au secours, sail us.
It's as I thought. It's like the fall of the Bastille. I am ready.
I tried to say goodbye to Lady Bastable, but I gather she's not feeling well. Clovis, dear, will you tell her? Why are you in travelling clothes?
Well, you see, Aunt...
Clovis, it was definitely settled that you were remaining here while I go to the... for me? So you may take your bag upstairs and unpack again. I have made an arrangement with Lady... Oh.
What is it, Aunt? Good news?
It's a cheque. A cheque from Lady Bastable.
For 49 shillings.
And that was how the McGregor boys learnt to play poker patience. After all, their father's very rich. They could afford to, just. Very vexed problem, of course, this whole thing of women and money. I didn't know that you associated with either. Don't in the normal course of events. But last weekend I ran down to Brighton. Alone, I trust. Naturally alone. Thought I'd lunch at that new hotel on the front. When I got there, not a table to be had. Head waiter seemed a decent sort. Asked someone if she'd mind sharing. She. Decent of her, too, but damned embarrassing. For me, I mean. But not my sort of thing. Good of you, madam.
Not at all.
Well. I'll have the brown one, sir.
The soup, sir?
Roast leg of mutton.
Roast leg of mutton and the cabinet pudding, sir?
And the cabinet pudding, sir. Lovely roses.
Yes, aren't they?
Do you know what they're called, by any chance?
Yes. Amy Sylvester Partington.
Oh. Thank you very much, madam. They're very colourful.
It's really rather curious that I can tell you their name.
Oh, why is that, madam?
Because if you were to ask me my name, I wouldn't be able to give it to you.
Why, sir, I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, are you suffering from loss of memory, something along those lines?
Yes, I suppose I am. I was coming here in a train from Victoria, and suddenly my mind went blank.
But you knew you were coming from Victoria?
Well, I looked at my ticket. It told me.
And you knew you were going to Brighton?
Non-stop. But you see, I hadn't the vaguest notion why I was going, or who I was.
No identification? In your purse, for instance?
Nothing.
Deuced awkward.
All that I can recollect about myself is that I'm a lady.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, I have a title. You know, I'm a lady something or other. Beyond that, I've no idea.
What made you come to this particular hotel?
Well, I knew I must be staying somewhere, but of course I couldn't remember where. Then I heard somebody give the name of this hotel to a taxi driver, so I followed suit.
What about luggage?
Oh, that was most embarrassing. I simply had to have luggage, of course.
Of course.
But I didn't know which my luggage was, because I didn't know what my name was.
Yes, I follow.
So, as I was passing the luggage van, I told the porter to pick up the first two pieces he saw. Well, at least the first two pieces that looked as if they might be mine.
But they weren't yours.
No. The label said they belonged to a Mrs. Kestrel Smith.
And you're not Mrs. Kestrel Smith?
I couldn't possibly be in anything Smith.
No, I suppose not.
Of course, it was dreadful arriving at a strange hotel with a name like that. But it would have been worse arriving without luggage. I do hate causing trouble.
Quite so. Still, it's not quite the same thing as having your own luggage.
Not at all the same.
But at least you have luggage.
None of my keys fitted. But I told an intelligent page boy I'd lost my key ring, and he forced the locks in a twinkling.
Forced them, but...
Rather too intelligent, that page boy. Probably end in Dartmoor.
Madam, I sympathize with your predicament.
Oh, the Kestrel Smith toilet tools aren't up to much. But they're better than nothing. Reach, I'd like my bill, please.
If you're sure you have a title, why not get hold of a copy of Burke's Peerage and go right through it?
I tried that. But a mere printed string of names conveys awfully little, you know.
Yes, I dare say you're right.
What I'm doing is trying to find out by various little tests who I'm not.
Oh, you're what?
Who I'm not.
Ah.
Did you notice, for instance, that I lunched principally on lobster Newburg?
No, I'm afraid I was too late for that.
It's an extravagance. But it proves I'm not Lady Stopping.
Oh, how very interesting.
Yes. You see, she never touches shellfish. And as for poor Lady Bruttleshrub, It'd kill her.
If that's who you are, and if in fact you are Lady Bastable.
I shall die in agony this afternoon. And then, of course, the duty of finding out who I am will devolve on the press, the police, and that sort of person. I shall be past caring.
Rather drastic, huh?
Now, I'm not Lady Newford, because I knew those roses were Amy Sylvester Partington, and she doesn't know one rose from another. And then she hates men, so she'd never have consented to your sitting here in the first place. Lady Mouse Hilton, on the other hand, flirts with every man she ever meets. I haven't flirted with you, have I?
Oh, no, dear. That's certainly not at all. No.
Well, you see, that knocks 4 off the list right away.
Well, won't it be rather a lengthy process, knocking the list down to 1?
Oh, well, there are heaps of people I couldn't possibly be, such as women who have grandchildren. I haven't got grandchildren, have I?
Obviously not.
No, I've only got to consider the women of my own age.
Provided you can remember what your age is. I mean,
I wonder if you could help me this afternoon.
Oh, very well, be pleased to, if I think I...
After luncheon, would you go into the lounge and look through back numbers of Country Life and Tatler and see if you come across my portrait? It'll only take you an hour or so.
Very well, be pleased to.
Thank you so much. Did you notice that I tipped the waiter a shilling? We can cross Lady Alwhite off the list. She'd have died rather than do that. She's staggeringly mean.
Waiter! This soup is cold. Not a picture of you anywhere.
Oh, dear.
You're not Lady Tetbury?
Oh, good. She's so plain.
Yes, you're not Lady Siddington.
I wouldn't dream of being Lady Siddington, even if I turned out to be.
You're not any of these. 125 of them.
I've discovered something, too.
Not your name, Manager.
No. I've discovered I'm not Lady Bethnal. She disapproves of any form of gambling.
You've been gambling?
Yes. I put a tenner on an unnamed filly by William III out of Mitrovica on the 3:15.
The fact that it was unnamed probably appealed to you. Did it win?
No. Came in 4th. Most irritating thing a horse can do when you've backed it to win or place. Anyhow, at least I know I'm not Lady Bethnal.
It strikes me that the knowledge was rather dearly bought.
Well, yes. It cleared me out. You see, the lobster Newburgh made my lunch very expensive, and then, of course, I had to tip that boy for breaking open the Kestrel Smith's luggage. You see, a florin is about all I've got left.
And you're no nearer finding out who you are than before.
No. But I just thought of something else. I feel certain that I belong to the Divot Club in Cavendish Square. Everybody belongs to the Divot Club these days. I shall go back to town and ask the porter if there are any letters for me.
Ah, splendid.
Then, if there are, the whole problem will be solved, won't it?
Yes, but what if there aren't?
Well, I shall simply say, you know who I am, don't you? And he'll say, yes, of course. You're Lady...
So you'll find out anyway. Yes, I think the plan is a sound one.
Only snag is, how am I to get back to town?
Well, it must be a train before the day is out.
Yes, but I told you I'm down to a florin.
Ah, quite so, the wherewithal.
What with my bill here, cabs and things, I shall certainly need £10. I wonder...
Oh, but of course, if you'd allow me, I'd be delighted. There's still the question of your luggage.
My luggage? Kestrel Smith's, you mean?
The Kestrel Smith luggage, which you have.
Well, I don't want to be saddled with that for the rest of my life. I'll tell you what you must do. Sneak up to my room, bring it down, and put it somewhere in the lobby.
Me? Dear lady, I?
Yes, and look, here's the key to my room.
Oh, well, I suppose it will be all right.
Then they'll never know where it was, and they can do what they like, can't they? Oh, you're most kind.
I'll let you have my name and address.
Oh? Why?
So that you can... should you be so inclined to return the money to me.
How stupid of me.
I'm Major Caterham, the Lotus Club, St. James's.
I'll remember. Really, I don't know what I would have done without you.
Well, let me know who you are when you find out. I'll be most interested.
I promise you. Well, up you go for the luggage.
Oh.
Goodbye, and thank you again.
Goodbye. Did you get your money back? Not a penny of it. Did you find out who the lady was? Oh, yes, I found out a damn sight sooner than I expected.
My dear Major,
Oh, hello, Clovis.
I just ran into Mary Drakmanton. I gather you had lunch with her.
Mary who?
Mrs. Drakmanton.
I don't know, Mrs. Drakmanton.
You just had lunch with her.
Oh, well, I don't know who it was. And she isn't a Mrs. anybody. She's a lady something.
Mary? She's not.
Oh, I assure you, she has a title.
Yes, indeed, she has a title. She's the Lady Croquet Champion.
The Lady Croquet Champion?
Charming woman. I'm devoted to her. Oh, there's just one thing I must warn you about the next time you meet her. She suffers from loss of memory every now and then due to a sharp tap on the head with a croquet mallet by an over-enthusiastic opponent a few years ago. It gets her into all kinds of fixes. She's absolutely furious if you make any allusion to it afterwards. She simply refuses to believe it happened.
I beg your pardon, sir. I forgot to ask you before. Will you be here for dinner tonight?
No, I shan't.
You're not staying in the hotel, sir?
I'm just down for the day.
Then this is not your luggage, sir?
No, it isn't.
Kestrel Smith. I ask you, sir, what these pieces of luggage are doing in your possession.
There's been a bit of a muddle. I'm trying to oblige a lady.
And, my word, the locks have been forced.
Well, yes. It's a question of loss of memory.
I must ask you, sir, to remain here while I fetch the manager.
Oh, wait, hold on. Here comes the lady who can explain everything. Excuse me.
Oh,
I found out who you are.
how very interesting.
You're not a lady at all.
I beg your pardon.
You're Mrs. Drakmanton, the Lady Croquet Champion.
I'm perfectly aware of that.
I just lent you £10.
Is this man raving mad?
And this luggage.
Well, it certainly isn't mine.
I know it isn't.
Fetch the manager.
You mean to say you don't remember me?
Would you please let go of my arm?
Man's a thief.
Look, I have the key to your room.
Help!
Fetch the police.
You asked me to sneak up to your room.
What?
I'll be arrested.
Arrested? I have said that you're put in a lunatic asylum. I'm
Fetch the
harm's
manager.
way.
Fetch the police.
It's absolutely